I want to talk about some practical things that we can do to prepare for emergencies at the beginning of every season. What are some things we should look over? I also want to talk about which gun I would carry if I was forced to just carry one gun in an extended SHTF situation. I also want to go over some holsters that I prefer, holsters I've had good luck with, and what I look for in holsters and some of the challenges I've dealt with. And I want to point out a really interesting development in my EDC. All right, I hope you guys have a great 2026. I want you to start the new year off the right way. You may want to consider making sure you have your fire extinguisher in good working order, first aid kits, make sure there's nothing missing from your kits, make sure no rodents have gotten to your freeze-dried food, even take a look at your cans and your trauma kit. I'm sure a lot of you guys already have your water filters. Just take a look at them, make sure they're in good shape, make sure there's nothing wrong with them in case you actually need them. This right here, these are filters. There's a cartridge and some filters for a P100 mask. And this is something that you can use in case there's a lot of debris in the air and you want to filter that out in an emergency. You definitely want to make sure your radio's in good working order, your radios, your batteries. Make sure you have plenty of batteries. I need to get more batteries. These are just some things. Make sure you have your stuff organized, your flashlights, your tools. Just something to keep in mind. I mean, obviously you want to inspect your magazines, look at your everyday carry. These are some things that you should be doing on a regular basis. But if you're not, you might want to start doing that. I just feel comfortable with the iron sights, man. Even though I don't have the best vision, I just feel more comfortable with it. Got the light right here. Typically when you're a right-hand shooter, you put it on the right-hand side, but I don't have like a pad to press to activate the light. It's a no-name light, so maybe I should put a better light on there, but it's functional for now. In an SHTF situation, if I was just stuck with just one gun, I would be all right with an AR. Although I prefer AKs as my SHTF rifle, but I was watching Trench Grenade, and he was talking about a scenario where if you're absolutely just stuck with one gun throughout SHTF, you couldn't replace it no matter what. You just had it, no matter what, you had to use that gun. This Colt right here, it's been pretty reliable for me. I like this AR. If I had to just go with one rifle, realistically in a SHTF situation, you're not just stuck with just one gun. But in that hypothetical scenario, I would definitely go with an AR, although since we don't have to deal with that type of situation, we can always replace a gun in a real SHTF situation or use another one. We're not limited to just one gun. I would definitely go with an AK, but in that scenario, I'll go with an AR. I got a light on there. I'll probably end up ditching that for a flashlight that takes AA batteries, especially if the grid is down. I don't know if I would even go with an optic. Obviously, you guys know I like the AK more, but with the AR, there's just more parts available. So in that particular scenario, yeah, I would have to go with an AR, because if something broke with the AK, I would probably be screwed. But the AK is probably less likely to break. But anyway, I just wanted to comment on that. I also want to talk about holsters a little bit. I'll give you a view of my holster graveyard and an update. A really strange development as far as my EDC. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But here's a holster for a tourniquet. It's just too big and bulky for me to really carry. I know it's a weird thing for me to say, considering my everyday carry, but yeah, maybe it's something I should consider instead of a second gun, maybe a tourniquet. But all right, I want to show you my graveyard, my holster graveyard. I had some local manufacturer try to make a double mag carrier for my Glock 21. This is just too big to be functional for me. I have a really good one that I get off eBay right now. This was made by Gearcraft Holsters, I think, for a Glock 21. Still pretty good, no cracks. This is the only one that actually had a special design. Is We the People. I typically don't go with special designs for the holster. There's no cracks on this one. D-wings, really wide. This is one for the Glock 17. when I carried it as a backup gun. Yes, the Glock 17 was a backup gun. I had it on my left side, had a Glock 21 45 caliber on my right side. So I had 9mm on the left, 45 on the right. I decided to just go with a simpler system, just both 45s, but I'll talk about that in a second. This is also made by Gearcraft. And this is a holster for the Glock 21 45. So I have some, I can still use this stuff. This was made by Vetter. For a while I went with Vetter. Now the thickness is 0.08. This is standard in the industry. But I want to go with something a little bit thicker. But anyway, there's a little crack right there you can see, but I can still use this. I think that's for the Glock 30 or so. Another Gearcraft. This one is made, I think, for the USP. It doesn't have a crack on it, so this one's just ready to go. Full size USP 45. This one right here, I think, was for the Glock. I think. I wish I would put the name of the gun on there. It looks like maybe a Glock. Glock 21 has a little crack on there. I think it's the D wings. I think these wings put too much pressure in this area right here because I keep seeing cracks form in the same spot. Right here, same spot. This is for the USP for sure. Same spot. I think now that I'm using a thinner belt, I don't have to worry about that problem too much anymore because it doesn't cause the whole thing to flex like that. But anyway, this is T-Rex. I went with T-Rex. They make thicker holsters, 0.093. So it's a lot thicker. The next step up. This also develops so like a crack in the inside, but it's still functional. I might just see if I can get it replaced. But they're pretty solid holsters. All right, here's a holster that's different from the rest. It's not quite a Codex holster, but it actually has retention, positive retention. You got to compress this lever to actually draw the weapon. And this is actually designed for the HK-45s, HK-45 compact, tactical, and a number of other guns. The thing I don't like about it is it's a little wiggle room in there. But still, this is made by Safariland. Pretty solid holster. I'm not a big fan of paddle holsters, but this one really sticks with. You dig it, you put it right in your pants, and it doesn't. This little hook right there prevents it from really moving. So if I had to go with a paddle holster, this is something I would feel comfortable going with. All right, EDC update. I'm actually carrying the next build, which sort of surprised me. I'll talk about that in a second. Phoenix flashlight. This knife made by Crate Tactical. Glock 21 45, Glock 30 45, ACP, 2 additional magazines. Both carriers, both holsters are actually made by T-Rex. All right, so if you're looking for a high quality, heavy duty concealed carry belt, everyday carry belt, this Hanks belt is really, really good. Actually, you can get some with a metal core, which provides a extra level of stability. It can really hold a lot of weight. The only complications is that it's so thick that when you're trying to carry 2 full-size guns and a mag carrier, double mag carrier, it takes a little bit of time to slide this through all the holes. Well, that's when a skinnier belt might be more helpful. This right here is a next belt, and as you tell, it's not holding up very well at all. It started to immediately start to fall apart. And it's because when I slide it on and off through those holsters, it just produces a wear. Now the belt to the right is also a next holster. I don't know why this material is holding up a lot better than this one. It's just different colors, but I think it's a different material. I don't know what's going on here. This is like a nylon. This is, I don't know what this is. It's a different type of material. It's supposed to be the exact same belt, but the brown one is holding up a lot better. So the brown belt is working out pretty well, but the black belt, not so much. This is how you put it on. It's a ratchet system. There you go. Yeah, this belt, it's so much easier to get this belt through this loop right here. It's thinner, so much easier, it just slides right through. And I'm surprised this belt is holding up because the other next belt didn't hold up so well. So I think it's just a different material. All right, how many holsters do you have in your holster graveyard, and what's your go-to holster right now? Also, if you're stuck with just one gun in SHF an extended period of time, you can only get replacement parts, you're just stuck with that gun, which one would you go with? Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and don't forget, the future belongs to those who prepare for today. And give me some comments on that Core Essentials holster. Is that even better than the next belt?